What's happening, guys? Welcome to Wrestling on the Road Smackdown review. My apologies, I did not get a chance to do a late night wrestling last night. It was a bit of a long night already before I got to watch it on DVR, and to be honest with you, I fell asleep. I woke back up and then I was falling asleep again. So I watched the rest of the show just a little bit earlier on today, and I definitely wasn't falling asleep last night because it was bad. No, sir, it was fantastic. I was just a bit tired is all. What a hell of a show last night, though. Let's get right to it here on Wrestling on the Road. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up, like, follow, subscribe, all that good jazz. Yeah, much obliged as we try to grow the channel. But you can check out the audio version, the Top Rope Radio, on Spotify for some of those late night wrestlings. Those are just audio only editions, but we're on the old video as well as the old audio here on Wrestling on the Road. I gotta start with the ending. What a hell of a segment. I'm gonna give my wrestler of the night to Paul Heyman. I know, he's not a wrestler. I get it. I understand that, but he took 2 bumps last night, and he was definitely the best character on the show. And Jacob Fatu was right there behind him, getting his own entrance, and looked absolutely great. Solo looking so much better as well. Amazing what can happen when you put, this Bloodline 2.0, whatever you want to call it, in there with some top guys like Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton and Kevin Owens. Amazing how it can elevate them. In the last 2 weeks since Fatu's return, the Bloodline, they're rising again. They are number 1 right now for my top factions. Between them, the Wyatts, the Wyatt Six, and the Judgment Day. That's how we've been rocking it. Those 3 been going back and forth. Those 1, 2, and 3 spots. Official release of the top 10 factions will be this Tuesday. TheTopRopePodcast.com, presented by Gary Martin Media. So click on the Top Rope Podcast once you go to TheTopRopePodcast.com. But yeah, they've climbed up to number 1 after that segment. We'll see what happens with the Wyatts on the Wyatt Six on Monday night. We'll see what happens with them. Maybe they climb back up to the number 1 if something crazy happens, but it's going to take a lot after that final segment on Smackdown. I mean, just in a hell of a way to set up the final segment. Like, we're in Madison Square Gardens. You got the baby faces. You're making them look strong. They went on the attack. How many times we see the baby faces just wait back and kind of look stupid, waiting to get attacked by the Hills? No, Cody Rhodes, Kevin Owens, Randy Orton said, no, sir, let's go. We're fighting you right now. And since they took it to him, they ended up getting thrown out of the building, escorted out by the New York police after, Cody got on the mic, did some solid work there after everything that went down, and just a hell of a way to start the show, and it set up the finish of the show because it got your baby faces out of the way. Made sense. You banned them because they're the ones who kind of started it, and and they also made logic sense that you're still allowing the Bloodline and everybody to stay in the building because Nick Aldis had already promised them the acknowledgement ceremony. So that's all making sense. Paul Heyman asking where Jacob Fatu was, and Solo saying hey, you are the wise man, so what good is a wise man if I'm not going to listen to you? So he's like, I took your advice. And we got my dog with us on the Wrestling on the Road today. He's like, Paul Heyman's like, I took your advice. Check out Ace Adventures on YouTube as well, Gary Martin Media. My dog's got his own show. Anywho, I don't got a lot of time, guys, so I fly around. That's why we do some of these Wrestling on the Roads. I'm busy. But that made sense, with, and it was just a ruse because it was all to, I thought it was all to bring out Jacob Fatu, and you were going to acknowledge him as a member of the Bloodline, an official member. I thought it was to acknowledge him but it was so that everybody could acknowledge Solo Sikoa as a new tribal chief, and that made perfect sense with after what Solo said, I believe it was last week or the week before on SmackDown, saying that telling Paul Heyman that Roman Reigns is not coming back. So he's the new tribal chief. So this whole acknowledgement ceremony executed so very well. So very well. Jacob Fatu getting his own entrance, like I said, looks like $1 million freaking bucks. And, you know, I don't care if you've been down on the bloodline and, you know, saying they're not very good and yada yada. Like, if you're saying that now, I don't know what you're watching. I don't know what you're watching. And, you know, I could see it maybe on those other two guys, but Jacob Fatu, no sir, no sir. Like, yeah, there's a chance he could definitely outshine Solo, but I don't know, not right now. Not right now. Solo looks good, man. Solo's doing a hell of a job. These last couple 2-3 weeks, he gets everybody to acknowledge him, and then you see the look on Paul Heyman's face when everybody's like, "Oh, great! I thought Jacob, I thought you weren't gonna bring him in. Now you said he wasn't in the building." And Paul Heyman just looking a mess, and such details, man, with having him not shave, and just the red eyes, and just his facial expression, just everything that he did to help sell this was great. And I liked how I get Tama Tonga and Tongaloa mixed up. That guy who acknowledged him first, Tama Tonga, I believe, the MFT, the right hand man, Tama Tonga. Like, I don't know. Like, I liked how he's kind of speaking a different language, but I don't know, just his voice. I would like to see him get a little more gravelly, like, "Hey, I acknowledge you." You know, I don't know. Maybe not so Lord of the Rings like that, but, you know, "My precious," not like that. But, you know, just his voice doesn't match up his face and his character sometimes. So, you know, nitpicking there. But his acknowledgement wasn't horrible. But I did think Tongaloa, actually, his acknowledgement was better. And then by the time we get to Jacob Fatu, I was like, oh, man, just his facials and the way he acknowledged Solo, I thought was excellent. And then, my goodness, Paul Heyman, no, sir, not going to acknowledge him, not going to put the tribal little red beads or whatever it is, the lei, not going to do it, Solo. And man, oh man, did that prompt a beat down. I was seriously concerned for Paul Heyman. I think Fatu might have messed. I don't know what he was going for in that splash. I didn't think he wanted to hit him. I mean, maybe he hit him perfectly, to be honest with you, because I don't think he was totally trying to do a splash. Like, Paul Heyman's belly's so darn big. Like, if he does a full splash on him, like, there's no way he can get his knees down first and lessen the impact, because that belly's too big. So he kind of went high on him. It looked like he might have got him in the face. I don't know, man. It was pretty darn close. But more than anything, like the power bomb, the shield-like power bomb through the announcer's table, like the way Heyman, man, he just got so much body weight. God bless him. The way, you know, his body came back, and, you know, with his head and neck. I hope he's all right, man, because that looked freaking brutal. What a beatdown! What a way to elevate this new bloodline. And with the crowd, you know, they want Roman so bad. I thought maybe, I was like, well, we're in Madison Square Garden, like, I don't know, like, but once they did that first bump on Heyman, I'm like, yeah, no, we're not getting Roman, and that's okay. Keep building it. I'm glad they didn't. I'm glad we didn't get Roman as much as the crowd wanted, as much as I would have loved to have seen him. It's not time yet. It's not time yet. Just keep this baby cooking. Keep this baby cooking. If we're in the third or fourth inning now, like a couple more base hits, we're going to stay in the fourth or whatever inning that we think we're in. What did Paul Heyman say we were in like a year ago? Like the top of the third, I think he said. So maybe we're in the bottom of the fourth, bottom of the fifth now. And I don't know, man. They could just have this thing keep going forever. For a long, long time. I mean, it just keeps building on top of each other. I mean, if Roman's going to stick around, then I don't know, maybe you have him and the Usos and whoever's going to team with him win. Everything with The Rock, I mean, there's so much more to write. But, you know, eventually Roman goes away and those new guys stick around. I would think Roman, you know, would put him over at some point. Like, how long is Roman going to wrestle? If he's going to be around for another 3, 4, 5 years, maybe you want to put him over. I know I'm thinking way into the future here, but Yeah, this story's probably maybe not even halfway over. What a story it was last night. I give that final segment an A+. I give SmackDown overall, thought some pretty solid stuff. I mean, man, give it an A-. Give it an A-. There's really nothing I didn't like, but the only criticism I have is, I don't know, some of those matches, some of those matches with the qualifiers felt a little bit the same formula. You know, having two guys beat down their women, you know, your heels end up beating down the baby face. You know, having them get beat down a little bit, like that was a little bit formulaic. So I mean, that might drop it down to an A-. But I really like those matches as well. That final segment definitely popped off, helped us move the storyline forward. We don't need to see Paul Heyman now, and basically until Roman gets ready to come back. And when that might be, like, you know, I think now, as I'm booking this thing, like, yeah, we're gonna have the 3-on-3 match with those guys. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm putting over the Bloodline and just building this heat, man. Building the heat, keeping them looking strong. Because you got 4 of those guys. It's gonna be a 3-on-3, but one guy's gonna get left out, so he can help them win. It could definitely help them win. And yeah, I'd say we just got to build them up now. Keep building them up. This is a great way to start with having Fatu come and then beating down Heyman. Like, keep building them up. Whatever happens, I don't think we'll see Roman back before SummerSlam. I think you build that up for the Bloodline Civil War 2. Maybe build that up, like I said, for War Games. I said that in the past. And then, that time, we're rolling towards WrestleMania season after that. Just so much to tell. So very good. What a hell of a SmackDown. Match of the night, I'm going to give that to LA Knight and company. Him getting the win in that triple threat qualifier. I love Tiffany Stratton getting the win and Naomi as well. I think those were the right calls on all of that. Except it was kind of odd. Jade didn't take the pin, so she still hasn't lost a singles match. I can still keep building her up on that. Hasn't lost a singles match, but yeah, keep her out of the Money in the Bank, or maybe she ends up, maybe a last chance or something. She ends up in there. I don't know. Like, I don't want to see her win Money in the Bank. I think it can do plenty of other stuff with her. I know they're going to try to go back for their tag team titles, get those back. So we'll see what happens. Maybe build something up here in a few months. Like I said, for a split between Jade and Bianca. We'll see what happens. Yeah, that was my match of the night. LA Knight qualifying. Wrestler of the night was, I don't know, oddly enough, giving it to Paul Heyman. And the promo night, the ending there, that whole thing at the end with the acknowledgement ceremony. Fantastic SmackDown. Good stuff going on in WWE right now. That's been Wrestling on the Road SmackDown review. Please like, follow, subscribe. Greatly appreciate it, guys. Let's get this baby up there. Come on, we got to get to 100 here. We're not even halfway there, but I want to get to 100 sooner rather than later. Hit the button. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. God bless. Yeah.